Good Friday morning, gardening friends. It's been a couple of days since the end of the last video. I really want to get this whole thing with the soil under the trees done so I can get to actually putting that irrigation in and then finish up that third level up there so I can finally get seeds in the ground or in pots or whatever and get the garden started. So I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to get to, I got a little bit of organizing to do here, and then we'll start sifting the soil that's in that one there as much as I can. Anyway, it's drying out, and then we'll go back up there. Well, there's other things going on, so I'm going to quit for the day here. I did get some of this dug out here. I did get that one bin emptied out finally, the one with the mud. Finally dried it out, and it was still just a little bit sticky, but that worked, and I threw a bunch of it up under the trees. So I think we're in a good position here. I've still got, let me try and swing around and give you the lay of the land here. Wow, I'm not too sure how well that's going to come through. All right. Yeah, where the shovel is there is kind of the beginning of the remainder of the shelf, which goes back to where that small pot is, basically. I'm going to dig all of that out. I'll have a path now that's that wide, if that is coming through, which will be good. A path and a platform, I guess. A way for me to walk around the plants that'll be up here. Yeah, that is the plan. I only got, what, 4 of the 5-gallon buckets, which I only fill about halfway. But that's not bad, just to get back out and get started again, instead of just letting it completely go by. So, that's it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good Saturday morning to you. Well, this is as far as I got yesterday. It's really kind of hard to show what I'm trying to do. I keep calling it, I guess, building a shelf under the trees. I'm basically just trying to build up the soil so there's more real estate to put the drip line, the emitter hose, under there. And I actually started thinking about it yesterday after I finished, and it dawned on me, okay, I've got the emitter hose. I need to put that out in the sun and let it relax a little bit because it's been coiled up for a long time. I've also put out front, and I'm hoping it'll stay there, that nobody just goes, ooh, cool, let's take it. I've got the hard line, it basically doesn't have any emitters in it. I got about 20 feet of this, and I want that to relax, and I need to put that back up. How can I so if you go back a few videos at this point. I redid this line here, and I added the shut off here, and I added another T there. So basically the plan is to come off of this T and go up the hill. So I want that the one out front to actually relax so that I can actually put it in place before I finish putting all the soil up, if possible, because I don't want to have to dig a trench into this whole thing that I'm building up right now. But that's basically it. That's the planning, that's the thinking, that's the trying to get ahead of myself a little bit. Now I'm going to go up there, do some more digging and some more slinging. Alright, so I'm really starting to feel it at this point. I was kind of hoping to go a little bit further, but I would rather quit early and be able to come back out tomorrow and get more done. I mean, I've flattened out quite a bit here. This is really kind of nice to be able to walk up here comfortably now instead of a really narrow path. So I kind of hope that's coming through because the sun's over on the right there. But yeah, I think this is working out. I'm almost done tossing up under the trees, which might leave me with a little bit more soil here. What I would do with that then is dig it out to have the same wide path up to the curve there, and then take whatever soil is sort of left over and spread it out to make this reasonably even and flat, not necessarily level. I don't actually mind if the soil is pitched towards the wall because that's where the drainage is, and that could work out fairly nicely. So I'm gonna give up for the day. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Good Sunday morning to you. Well, I'm both later than usual and earlier than usual considering the time change, and I just wanted to show you I'm trying to get this thing to relax. So it occurred to me to take a couple of pieces of pipe that are a little bit bigger that I happen to have, just scraps. Drove one into the ground there and stretched it across. I was going to put another one over here, but it wasn't long enough, so I ended up putting it over there. And so that kind of forces the thing to be somewhat straight, and hopefully once the sun hits it, if it doesn't pull itself out before then it'll start to relax a little bit more, and I'll have some straighter pipe to work with. So yeah, back up there, that's the plan. Okay, that was a fair amount of work, but it feels good to be done. I kind of flatten things out mostly. It may not be perfectly level. You can see the pots there are kind of leaning over a little bit. I could do better with that, but that's not the final positioning of everything. But I mean, what's nice is, let me go back this way. Try and get the tripod out of the way. Give you an overall view of it, I guess. Let me try the other direction. But, you know, the main thing was getting the soil under the trees. I think I'm finally done with that. I can't build that shelf out too much more, or it just becomes so steep that everything is just going to wash right down the hill. So let me back this up again. Trying to figure out how to get you a full view of all of that. So it's a decent amount of space, and as you can see, I can walk around pretty easily, even with the plants there. So that was the idea, was the plants will be more up against the hill, and a walking area over here. I've got one sprinkler head there, which will get adapted to probably a 2-port manifold, where I'll get a couple of micros on that. That one over there is actually a 2-port, and the second one's not being used, so I can deploy another one. So I'm happy. I'm tired. I need to clean up. But that's it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good Monday morning, and happy Pi Day. At least when I'm recording this. Yeah, it's finally time to actually take care of the trees. We've got the soil built up. It looks like some of it kind of fell overnight, but I noticed a couple of raccoons in the backyard doing unseemly things. But not to dwell on that. I've got this one here, this one T. That is where the first one is going to go. And I'm trying to think over here as we pass by the hose that I'm trying to let it relax. The sprinklers went off this morning. It looks like it's mostly relaxed, so I think I'll be able to work with it. Plus I bought some stakes to help me stick it to the ground. I've got a couple of choices here. I do have a cap right there that I could take advantage of. Well, I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. I may just tap in right there and then just go underneath that or over whatever, and then dig a trench going up, and that'll get me up there with the black hose, and then the black hose will join in with the brown hose and a number of adapters, and we're going to get the irrigation going. And then once we got that, we have some fertilizer we can feed the trees. So let's just get cranking. lesson learned. I guess I should have A, gotten stronger staples, and B, let that hose, 100 feet of hose, I should have let it relax even more. I'm not sure how I would have done it except to stretch it across the backyard or something like that, but now it's attached and I don't want to take it off. So I think, yeah, let me just kind of show you what I ended up having to do, and I came around the other way. Oops, sorry. You can see the big mess of it up there. So, yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what to do. I'm probably going to end up trying to take the kinks out of it and put an end cap on it anyway, because that's supposed to be the full length. It's just going to go back and forth under the trees and provide them with water. I'm kind of wondering also if that's just too much. 75 feet for 3 trees. I was thinking 25 feet per tree, but that may be more than I need. I need to do some thinking and come back. Alright, well, I guess it's one of those days when it's back to the drawing board. I did manage to cap off without using the permanent one. I had another, it's like a figure 8 kind of thing. Let's see if I can walk over here and maybe show it to you. So hopefully you can kind of see it sticking out there, and basically it's just the kind of cap that just forces it to be kinked. And right at the end, and water's not leaking out of it. That's good. So it's pressurizing the line. And I ran the water for a little bit just to see, and I could see water running along the line because it's not laying flat right now. But you can see, you might even be able to see it dripping from that kink right there. So I'm hoping that it will relax, I get the kinks out of it, but also I'm thinking 75 is too much. So maybe, oh wow, I just realized we've got water all over the window. Yeah, maybe 60 feet, maybe 50 feet. I'm going to have to think that one through. But it is functional. It's dripping at the connection because you probably saw me with the, this is an extraction tool for pulling out 1/2-inch risers. I just needed something to cut it down because it was just way too tight. It's hard to, how do I describe this? This is a T I happen to have, and hopefully you can kind of see the edge of it there. So the pipe's supposed to fit in there, but it just wouldn't go in, and I ended up deciding that maybe what it is that this is for a different size pipe, and I need to look that up and figure it out. I used one of the 2 that I bought, and I have the other one still, so I'm going to look that up, do some research, figure out if that's what the problem was, but it's dripping right there right now. So a number of different little problems, but you know what? I managed to get all the soil under the tree. I've got a lot of stuff done. So to finally hit a problem, that doesn't surprise me completely. You're going to run into things here and there. So I think that's it for today. I'm just going to go do some planning, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome to take 2. I have put the hose out. I've tried to let it relax as much as I can. I did some thinking, and I think what I'm going to do is cut it in about a 20-foot section. Turns out it's not a circle that I'm going around here. It's more of an oval because front to back it's not as wide as it is left to right for each tree. So I think what I'm going to do is basically cut, I calculated it's probably going to be somewhere between like 16 and 20 feet. So I think I'm going to cut a 20-foot section. It'll loop around. It'll get a little bit more, it'll overlap in the back and get a little bit more there, but that's fine. And then that'll make it much more manageable. I can get everything staked down, and then once I've got that, then I can cut another 20-foot section to the next tree, rinse, repeat, and hopefully I get all 3 trees taken care of. I've got a piece in the back that is relaxing. That's a 25 footer. That's getting fairly close. That'll go under that tree. But that is the plan. Let's just get cranking and get this done. Alright, so if you've been watching for any length of time, you'll know what's wrong with this picture. The cactus is no longer on top of the post there, and some of its needles are in my back. I took a spill coming back down the hill, backed into the cactus. It's not as bad as it sounds, at least not right now. I managed to go inside and pick a bunch of needles out, changed my shirt. It did take my hat. That's sitting on the other side of that pot. I want to keep going with this. I'm not in pain or anything. I did scuff up my leg a bit, but I want to keep going with this project. I want to get this done. So I'm going to leave the cactus where it is rather than messing with it. I'll eventually retrieve my hat. So if you happen to see that I've got a different shirt and a different hat on, that's what's going on with that. So it is working. Let's just keep going. Okay, that looks like a reasonable success. I'll take that. I may have to go back at it at some point and make some adjustments. I mean, honestly, the hose doesn't look all that great from down here, but it's really just to water the trees. It's not about looking pretty. And if I pull it down to where you can't see it, then I'm narrowing the root zone. So I think this is probably about where we want to be. And on to the next one. Alright, well, I guess it kind of works. You have a leak over here. There is something wrong with that connector. I'm going to have to see if I can find an alternative. I had to modify the connector just to get the hose in. I looked it up and it's supposed to fit that hose, but it's just way too tight. The other ones, the coupler up there where it turns from black to brown, and the end piece, those seem to be working. And we're dripping. But, yeah, I'll have to figure that out. But I'm going to clean up, call it quits for today, deal with the cactus needles, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Oops. Well, it's a few hours later. I've had some time to rest up, cleaned up a little bit, and yeah, I realized that we're right on about a half hour here, so I think I'm going to wrap up the video so I can get this thing processed and released tomorrow. So with that, I'm happy to be where I am. I think I may have an idea how to solve the problem with the connectors leaking there. So yeah, take care of yourself, take care of the folks around you, and may your thumb be green.